make a 90 degree, like a hard 90 in a way. All right. I want to set the inside angle,
you need material
angle,
to go outside.
inside angle, and corner is a corner, right? Outside angle and corner. That's all I said, right? So people get confused about what I say, because I don't say a lot, but I say it very simply, very plain English, and very for a reason. When someone communicates, I started the conversation. I am trying to communicate something to you. So in order for communication to be communicated, you need to understand why I said that. Otherwise, you won't get this. Communication is a very strange thing. And I know I'm very strange because I try and communicate all the time, especially about this. And this is law. No matter if you see it or not, it doesn't matter. It still works, or it still happens. So, you know, if I were to try and set the inside and outside to a 90 degrees with that structure, what would happen? It's predictable. What would happen?
You'd weaken the bones.
Yeah. If this is on the animal and you hit right there, it can do nothing but taper in that direction. That means it weakens it, right? Same thing goes here. It weakens the structure. Correct?
Because
It can do nothing but that.
just creating a taper.
Just like the two-sided taper. The same thing occurs when you're making a ring, a leg of a bird, a knife, tang, a tong, and everything else. That's why when people make the tong bling, they don't get it. They're trying to make a tong, and of course they stay over here, and they taper in that direction, you know. I mean, look at people like Daniel Lee has made a video and asked for help. That's why I made that tong video. Well, you know, that just doesn't hold up, you know. And it won't, I mean, I can fix that if you don't go too far, too fast. But, so this is what you do when if you do a simple blacksmithing technique, the Habermann Bends, what you need to do is exceed the line of the outside and inside line. Then you can set any angle, inside or out. Understand? No?
Say it one more time.
You exceed the inside and outside line, so you can set the inside and outside angle. That's what, like I said to start with, this enables you to set the inside and outside line and angle. Right? That's all I said.
You have to have them at the correct
So,
angle before doing the...
Whatever language you want, or whatever, the line is here, 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 here. It's exceeded, thicker here than it is here. Thicker here than it is here. So now I can set those lines and angles. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty simple, especially if you've never done this before. People get confused when they've done this before. Oh, you missed it all. Okay, so yeah, it's a very simple matter. It doesn't matter if I want it hard, inside or outside, radius, inside or outside, or bit, you know, anywhere, or just leave it like that. It still is a stronger structure than if you were to hit there, you would have weakened it. But just by doing that, you've strengthened it. But on these tongs and other things, like you want to make letters, numbers, things like that, you probably want an exact angle. You know, like those tongs, they have an exact angle. They're not just bent and, you know, like that one is 90 degrees. Being able to set your inside and outside angle allows you to adjust or make those exact inside and outside angles. Because if you do a class, you'll find out people will abuse your tongs, and you'll need to adjust them. So the way to adjust them, especially that one, if they're less than 90, like those ones in there, you can't adjust that. Where do you get it on your animals? With ease. And it's important to line that up, otherwise they don't hold. And if you ever do a class with a lot of people, you'll find out, hey, My toes aren't holding. Why? Well, look at them. You've misaligned them by keeping them too hot and whatever. They keep them in the fire and stuff like that, you know. And so learn to use and maintain tools and understand the principles that'll get you there very quickly. Will get you like the the heart that on I4 Iron I posted the heart and I talk about the Habermann Bend is what I call it. Well, there's a lot of people making that, but who's making the Habermann Bend? They're not. They're making the shape of it, what they think it is, not what it is, because the inside and outside has to be exceeded before you can hit that. So when you hit it, you know, like I say, radius or hard edge, you can hit the half hammer face flow and bring this to either the angle of it, which is not yet. I still can go. See, it's still exceeded. But you can bring it, and you can do it that way. I like to bring it over here. And you set your inside and outside angle. Now that's just 90. This outside is more or less than 90. You can do that, but you can also take it to the same. So you can make different angles inside and out, which makes cool designs like letters and numbers. Or you can, set it to be, you either go that way or that way. But a lot of people, they just, they don't understand, and you still go further. But this is a forging technique that's been around for a long time, and that hard 90 has been around for a short time. Look at over what they have in Europe, big heavy gates that need to be restored. I understand them teaching that because there's a job there, But I don't understand them teaching America because there's no job there, and it really leads people to do some complex things that blacksmiths didn't usually do. Do you see that structure? Now, if I exceed that, of course, if I kept going like this, once it gets higher here, you can do nothing but taper. And that's what people, they start to try and make this shape, and they do stuff like that. Well, they just compromise that, because that can bend here where it doesn't bend over there. It's all about making it stronger and stuff. You need leverage. So that's all I'm saying is the main thing about this Habermann Bend, it allows you to set the inside and outside lines and angles with ease and efficiency and make structures. He has a question.
You have to bend it first to do the Habermann bend. Like you set the angles and then you do that Habermann.
How would you do it like that?
I'd bend the bar and then do the exceed it.
You can bend. You're gonna. I mean, you're going directional. Like those scissors have it. Well, not really. That was a thing, but the letter 5. That's one of the hardest letters to make. The letter 5. That's got 2 of them. You can make picture frames, this and that. These have it. See, this has it. The tongs have it. Letters, numbers make it real easy. When you want to change direction, and even if you want to change real close and whatever. It's a fork. You're gonna bend, yeah. And I mean, you can do like similar things to do a spine. It'd be better if I had steel. But, if you just have a curve, of course you can, you do, and it'll make this spine. I don't have. This is not my stations over there. I've got a few examples of variations. Like up here. There's variations. Here's what I call Habermann Bend here and here, here. But these are a little different. But they all start with a bend. Yeah, I'm pulling it out, and then it makes a structure that can hold up. Most people, when they make their shapes that they do, especially when they're bending, weaken the structure. Like when they do their hard 90s, a lot of people weaken that area. When you get that crack in there, you've just weakened that area. It becomes the weakest part if you were to stress it like that. Instead of the strongest part where it would bend on the other side of the bar, you've just compromised the structural integrity. That's what everything in forging should be thought about, maintaining structural integrity instead of just making shapes.
Hey Brian,
Without recognizing that.
did you ever see Technica's Joey's video on making a hold down? A big Rousseau type hold down.
I don't think I did. Why?
He does this enormous type of really complex hard 90.
Yeah.
And you can see in the finished photo. You can see in the finished photo the stress cracks.
From Peter Ross.
It took him like a day to make it.
Yeah.
I went in my shop one day and I was bored, and in 20 minutes with using Habermann Bend, I made you just
They
knocked
brought
them
that
out
up
like
on
that.
iForge. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to get in there, but I don't know how to work my computer anymore. But I used to do that. You know, when people say something, you know, I'd go out there and do it. But yeah, that was ridiculous. I mean. And, well,
Do you know how? And when I questioned him about that, he just that kind of like really boom.
Yeah.
He didn't want to hear it, and he was getting offended.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like to be questioned. I like to be challenged. I want and I want to make things clear. Is the main thing. I want to communicate this so people can go out and help other people do this because